friends! Today's layout is going to be taking one of Stampin' Up's card kits and making it into a scrapbook layout. We are just doing a single page layout, but let me show you what I have left from my Expressions of Kindness kit. These are the envelopes. I have 3 of this envelope left and then 3 of this envelope. I believe this kit made 4 of each card, and I just put together 1 of each card. So I have these left over. And then this is 1 card base. It has that teal kind of splotch on the front, and then the back is gray. So I could definitely use, like, cut this apart and use the gray as a photo mat or something. But I have 3 of those. And then I have 3 of the other one. And look at that gold foil. The front of the card has the gold foil. The back of the card is not gold foiled, but it's still beautiful. So I would love to bring this into this layout. This kit also came with Blackberry Bliss ink. This is such a beautiful color, and I didn't have this in my stash yet, but now I do. And then it has these little sentiment spots. And they give you extra in your kit. So I actually have 4 of these little spots in that teal. And then I have 4 of this one with that gold foil detailing along the edge. And some embellishments. This is just gold foil sprigs. Very delicate, very beautiful. Can't wait to include those on my layout. And then these don't have any gold foiling, but they are so fun, and they're cardstock, but they just punch right out. So it has all that detailing. It's like laser cut, so pretty. And then another thing I'm wanting to bring in is my own gold foil paper. Since this does have gold foil accents, I think it'd be nice to bring in even more. I do have photos in mind. I have 4 photos that I want to scrapbook, and they can be trimmed down to 4x4s. So I cut out 4x4 photo mats so that I can rearrange my layout. I do know what photos are going on this. I don't know that I'll have them printed for this video, but I am planning on doing a video coming soon where I put photos on my naked layouts. So stay tuned for that. Oh, and this cardstock here is close to my heart, sage. I thought it tied in nicely with all of these colors. So that color is no longer available, but any green that would coordinate with this would be so pretty, or just build on white, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. I was playing around with where I wanted all of these, how to show off the most of the gold foiling detail, and get the most use out of the rest of this kit. And while I was playing around with that, I found this sketch. It's from Close to My Heart, so this book is no longer available, but it's the volume 3. And I found this one that I think, I'm only doing a single page, so I'm ignoring this one, and I'm looking at this one here. I think if I brought in my card bases here, and then maybe gold foil or that blue splotch card base. So use this one for the pattern paper, and then use the blue splotch maybe for up here. Maybe do a trim of gold foil like they do up here. You know, gold foil there, blue splotch there. And then maybe having my green cardstock show through on the side. I'm not quite sure, but I think I could use this side of the layout. How I found this sketch was I looked at my photos and I thought to myself, what can I print these at? Do I want them vertical, horizontal, 3x4s, 4x6s? What size do I want? And when I looked at my photos, they could be trimmed to 4x4s. So I grabbed out some 4x4 photo mats. And then I started laying it out on my Versamat, just kind of playing around, and I was stuck. So I turned to my sketchbooks and I went to the front. Now these are no longer available, so you know, you might have to go to Pinterest or YouTube to find some. But at the front, it gives you kind of an outline of the sketch. So I came here and I'm like, okay, I have 4 4x4 photos, and I think I can fit this on a single page. what would work as a single page layout with 4x4s. And a lot of these would. They could all work for what I had in mind. But this one just kind of stuck with me. Look at this one. This one would even work. But it kind of goes more along this direction, and I liked the vertical kind of layout with the background papers. So that's how I found this particular sketch. A lot of times I'll go to the sketch first, be like, oh, that's cute, let's make that. And then I'll, size my photos accordingly, pick out my papers. But this time I kind of picked everything else out first and then came to my sketchbook to find what would work with what I had in mind. So we're kind of using this one, but not all the measurements and everything. I'm just going to use the idea of the layers, but not the measurements, if that makes sense. I've trimmed the cards in half, and I'm actually using the non-foiled one side, so that would be the back. And if I line those up perfectly, it goes down a 1/2 inch and up a 1/2 inch. So that I'm thinking will go there. And then the blue card, I fussy cut that out. So I just cut around the edges of that and all the way around. And then I cut it in half. So I could have half at the top and half at the bottom. Like so. These are the backs of that card. So I cut this 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I did 2 of those. We have 3 cards, so 2 of those, and then I have 1 more, but I didn't want them to be only one mismatched. Out of this envelope, I cut 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 right here, leaving just that little piece poking through. So I have that down there, and that'll help with my embellishment cluster. And then I thought if I do a cluster there, I might do a cluster here. So I'll have that one kind of facing up that direction. Now you can kind of see the difference between these colors, but not a whole lot. And once we get our photo mat on, the photo on, you will not notice the different grays or like the different papers. This one I think got off a little. I need to recut that. And then I cut gold foil paper 8 1/2 inches wide to go across both of those. And it's a 1/2 inch thick, but I might end up tucking it. So then that will kind of be our transition piece. Something like that. I do want to ink around my edges, so I am going to bring in that Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to ink around these edges and my photo mats. And I'm just going to go directly to my page. I'm just gonna go right across like that. And I don't want to set this on my layout. The ink does take a little bit of time to dry, so I don't want it to bleed onto the rest of my layout. So I'm just going to ink around those 3 edges since it's on the edge, and then set that aside and go around all the rest. I have the base of my layout done, so now I'm going to start bringing in these fun little embellishments. I want a cluster down in this area, and I kind of want to fill in this corner, I think. So maybe do something like that. And then I have these little sentiment spots that I could overlap, maybe pop up on foam and stamp something there. I also have these little gold pieces that I could tuck in with this. They're actually meant to overlap that on the card. And then maybe do another one over here. Not quite sure. That almost looks too busy with all of that. So I might just do one and save these for another project. I do want something up here too, or maybe a title. I don't have anywhere for a title yet. And then I could bring in maybe a doily or a circle to bring in more embellishments on this side. A couple other things you get in this kit are stamps and these little gems. So I am going to bring in these gems later on, and then these stamps, this little furry guy here, he lines up with these pieces and these ones. So I'm going to stamp on those. And you have some sentiments too. Kindly delivered to for on your envelope. Just a note, wishing you the happiest of birthdays. This is not a birthday layout, so I won't be using any of those. I'm just gonna pull this one off. You can tell I already used it. It was clear, now it's dyed. So let's do the background pieces first. So you just ink it up. And we'll go ahead and stamp that one here. This one's a little large, but I want to do it anyways. That one I am going to put some paper behind. Look at how it just adds that extra detail to the pattern paper. Oh, okay, I need some scratch paper. 1 second while I find that. Okay, I'll just slide that under there, get that inked back up, and line that up there. And then we'll do the same thing on this one. Okay, and then for these pieces, I'm going to set that there. I'm going to bring this over so that if it tips, it doesn't get on my layout. Look at just that extra detail it adds. So fun. And then, where'd my other one go? This one I cut down from one of those. I just wanted a little something in that upper right-hand corner. There we go. For more embellishing, I wanted to bring in this sharing, loving, crafting. And this stamp says, sharing what I love, loving what I do. So, spoiler, we were putting together these cards in these pictures. So, I thought that'd be fun to stamp, but I don't know that I have room for that big of a stamp. It's fairly large. So then I grabbed out my old Close to My Heart stamp set, and there's Memories in the Making, or Everything is Better When You Bring Your Friends. But that one is pretty large too, so I don't know. Maybe I do want to bring something more up in this area and stamp one of those. And then we were at a winery, so I thought this little image would be really cute. And this is from the One More Year. So I might bring that one in too. So I might stamp these and cut them out. I think I might actually stamp them on some of these scraps from the envelopes and cut them out with my Spotlight on Nature dies. I think I might use those to cut out these embellishments. So I'm going to do some stamping off camera. I'm going to stamp them on the gray, cut them out, and we'll see what fits where. I'm getting more embellishments than I thought I would on this layout. I used I Appreciate You from Thoughtful Wishes, and I've decided I'm going to bring in that splatter from there as well. So I'm going to add some splatter to the layout. And then these, I just wasn't loving the, how it was looking when I die cut those out. So I did Everything's Better with Friends, and I really considered putting that here. I thought it looked really good, but I just didn't love how it stamped. I didn't have more gray big enough. I have another envelope I could cut apart, but just for that. And it just, I don't know. So I decided to do the I Appreciate You with this little flower coming out of there. And then I had also tried the Sharing What I Love, Loving What I Do. I, again, wasn't loving how it was fitting on these circles. A larger circle would have been too much. I didn't care for, I don't know. I just liked this one, and I thought of bringing more in, but I think that ties in nicely, and then this brings some of that blue over. So I didn't really need another circle. Bringing in that splatter stamp and my Blackberry Bliss. And I'm just going to hope I don't overdo this since that one didn't stamp very good. Since my layout is basically done, let's flip this over to the soft side of my Versamat. I'm doing some first generation, some second generation. Let's stamp some up here and maybe over here. I'm gonna stop there, and I think I liked it better without the stamping, but hey, we tried. Sometimes you don't know what you want until you know what you don't want. I added some of those glitter gems from the kit. I love the sparkles of those. And then I added some down to this cluster too. I did pop the bud up on 3D foam, and then the rest is glued down. I didn't glue where my pictures will slide under them, and that's popped up on 3D foam. Got some more gems there. This one's popped up on dimensionals, and this is all flush, but you can still get your picture under here. I do know which pictures are going on this layout. I'll get those printed, and then I'm going to be putting together a video showing how I put all the pictures onto my finished layouts. So stay tuned for that to come out. Hopefully this month, we'll see. But until next time, live a life worth scrapping. Bye, guys.